Welcome into Timelocke, folks. It is an even later one tonight. It is about 9 o'clock. I'm recording this one. So we're starting off in our area where we start things. I feel like this has became the starting point for episodes. But I did a tiny bit of work off progress, and before the day ends, we will do a little bit more. So last episode we worked on the retaining wall, and as you can see, we got some more progress done on it. I've actually went up another block, replaced some of the flooring. No, replace this bottom block, which was dirt. As I'm actually happy with how this layout is. Obviously, it could be longer, but that's kind of not the vibe I'm going for. And now we got a staircase, and now if you come on up here, things are starting to shape themselves, as you can see from here. I have the torches all nice for once. We'll see how long that lasts for, because I'm trying to get away from this ugly torch spam. This is on my list of things to eventually fix one day. Is having the torches all nice and evened like this. Obviously, there's not some even parts because you got like this. Because I kind of just made things as I was going. So the next thing I want to do today that we're going to work on is I kind of want to plan how this is going to look, which shouldn't be too bad. So the crops in the game we can farm currently we have cactuses, we have wheat, and we have reeds, or sugarcane as they were recently renamed to. So those are the blocks we have to work with for farms for the moment. So what I was thinking is you walk up here and we'll do the sugarcane farms. And so I was doing some thinking down. There's no easy way to get down here. And this is a big drop because it's a lot of just terraform on top of each other. So looking at this really funny. So you have the original land, terraformed land, the land then terraformed, and now it's terraformed again. So just like an inception of inception. But anyway, the reason I'm down here was I was thinking of making this going to be the layer for under here, and I want this block to be the roof. So maybe down here is even the layer, just so it's a big enough ceiling. But I want there to be a block of gap in between here, and so I don't want to put the stuff into the ground directly, because then we'd have to move it down a block. So everything up here is going to be built up one upon itself, is what I'm thinking. So then it's also easier to plan everything. So we walk into here. I'm imagining sugarcane can be here. So this walks up. Okay, let's do the path cobble. So the path can go like this. And we can have a little bit here. Right, so this continues like this, but once we get to here, I want some way this connecting out to this path before it then will continue on like this, is what I'm thinking. And then as we go by parts of this, we got fields. It might honestly make sense to make a wheat field here. The starting thing will be a wheat field, and we'll just leave the land until the wheat's not as buggy, so you don't have to worry about it being stomped on, because that's what happened over there, was all the wheat got really stomped on and all messed with. So I'm trying not to do it like that time. And then also this can just be a natural break to then lead into another crop right here. And so right here, I think we're going to do cactus. So we use to show off some cactus. Sure, we got wood. Wood is close enough to cactus if you think about it. And then this can continue on more this way. And there will be stuff on this side too. The path just kind of bisects the middle, because this is going to keep going off that way. And then eventually it'll morph back into the ground. But it won't be crazy big. So realistically, I don't see the base going any farther. The farming area at least going, oh crap, any farther than this. There's no reason for it to be any farther. I see that kind of as like the max. Like, worst case scenario, the farm goes out there. But even that feels a little far. realistically, I think I'd be happy with here because it gives a decent room on each side of the path. So that's probably about as far as we will expand out that way. But then as we get over here, there's just so many more questions that I don't even know about yet. And it'll 100% depend on how other things end up looking. So, how much dirt do we got? We got about 3 stacks on us. So what we could do is expand this out to here real quickly. I should 100% reclaim some of these torches that are gonna be lost. Oh, even though I mean I will get them back when we go under for and mine this area out. So I won't. I guess I won't be too pressed about grabbing all of them because I will come get these eventually. But yeah, for the time being, I'm going to expand 4 blocks out this way for maybe a stack and a half more, and then we can get an idea. Because it does help visualize when you actually have things built out more, like with what we're going for here. So, well, the thing is, about to here is where the wheels kind of fall off the wagon, as you can say, as I kind of don't know what I want to do next. So, leaving things like this will work. Perfect. So, wheat field here. I think, well, because where would it be? So it would be a double bisect. So it would be like here. What I think would be cool would be like a little, um, it's just a staircase little bridge that will just float from there to here. We'll just float from here to there, and then we'll connect into the staircase. And since it is a 3, so it will be an odd, just ish connection. A 3 going, 2 going into the 3, but it's not a big deal about that, so I won't lose sleep over that at least, at the very least. So I'm not worried about that. Then, so the cactus area is going to be pretty small. It'll end probably about here, realistically. Cactus area is super small, and then we can go into where the reeds are going to be. Which, I kind of want the reeds over here for the time being. I think it'd be cool to have just a lot of them. Well, and since we don't have a lot of crops for the time being, we can just plant tons of crops around here. And then as more crops get added into the game, if they do add more, we can then diversify a little bit. So I think that's the route I want to take for this. And that's what my plan is for this. So now that we laid this out a little bit and nighttime is now upon us, we probably should lay out a few torches. Okay, don't be targeting me, bud. I didn't do anything wrong to you. Now that all those are laid out, mobs should not spawn. We can go inside and work on some other little things. And it can segue us into the next thing. Let me grab it, actually. So let's head over to the mine. I guess we can take this way, too. I was going to say we could have walked above ground, but we can use this area for the time being. But last episode, when we were working down here in the mine, I had brought up the fact that I was wanting to go through this world, make a wish list of stuff I need to do, and I ended up doing that. So right after I got off with that video, I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, okay, man, I really like this idea. And I was like, before I get demoralized and tired and all this stuff, let me go through and do this. So I walked around the entire world and I thought of everything that I wish to do in the scope of things that have already been built. So it's not like I went through the base and I was like, okay, well, eventually I want to build a movie theater. It was like, okay, looking at the world now and blocks laid out for the future, like, for example, The dam, the dam and the retaining wall that we were working on, those were both on the list because they were things I was already doing. I was actively had talked about, and I already had energy and time invested into it happening. So that was something, for example, that was on the list. But something, yeah, something like a movie theater or um expansions to the base, which I haven't even thought about yet. Those were left for the wayside because I'm just not there yet. So I left those and I went through this list. I'm gonna break character for a second and actually grab the list. Okay, cool. So we're in a safe spot. Oh, I just dropped my pen on crap. Okay, this is going off the rails a little bit. Give me a moment. I just wanted to make sure I was in a safe spot to stop, so I don't get randomly jumped. Cool. Oh, even though I'm not even gonna look at that one. But I went through this list and I have 39 different things, and I even dated it for yesterday. And I gotta go through and resort them. I went through this morning being like, okay, crap, my handwriting sucks. Like, it's not that good. Like, I wasn't even like writing the line on my some of my B's and P's and stuff like that because I was half awake in the dark writing this. So it wasn't exactly planned for me. But I'm gonna go through and sort this list out by things I can do now and things I can't do in the future. Like, for example, the very first thing I wrote down is I want to update my pathways. And I can't do that because there's not a lot of blocks in the game to do that with. So that's one of those things that is going to sit there and wait. For another example, another big thing, which is this is towards the end. This is number 32 on the list. I want to frame the base, which is just, and that also will relate to me just redoing the outside because it looks ugly, is the fact that slabs don't work the way I want them to. So we kind of got to wait for slabs to be fixed so that I can then put slabs under blocks that don't have air above them because of the weird way they work. Those are things of those are things I want to do, but I gotta wait on. So I'm gonna grab another piece of paper. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna write down every single list that I can actively do right now. And over the course of the next probably 10 or so episodes, I kind of want to go through and just start knocking some of this stuff out. So, example, why we were down here is this is on the list here. Okay, let's go back. Hello. Welcome back into working on this PB. So, I want to then start finishing up some of this stuff, which is 100% why we are at what we're at right now. And see how much more we're gonna need. I guess it is just gonna be a decent amount on this. But yeah, I want to go through and get a lot of stuff done because I keep making myself projects is the problem. And obviously there is some projects I do not have an answer to, like for example, okay. Guess we're going back to the paper. One of the things is number, let's call it 18. Number 18, I couldn't find on the list, so we're just going to act like I did find it. Number 18 on the list is to the bottom of the waterfall. We haven't made rooms down there yet. That's example something on there, but that's one of those things where I'm waiting for the creativity to hit me to work on it. Like, for example, I had planned to make a pond outside of where the base is going to be forever, but I didn't know what I wanted to do for the pond. So it was one of those things that sat there until the idea was like, oh, let's do it this way. And then from that, it came to life, if you get what I mean there. So that's something that is important that I try to do with this is if it's something that actively I'm happy with, I'm going to do. Or if I need to just put a tiny bit of effort into doing it, then I do it. But for example, there's an example for a lot of this stuff though that it's kind of difficult for me to do. Like for example, there's a lot of the things on the list is fixing or redesigning things I wasn't happy with that I made. Which is it's good to be able to be like, okay, cool. I made this, but I'm not happy with it. However, I can't fix it because I can only make things wood, stone, or nether blocks. So at the end of the day, I don't know how much help realistically it's gonna be. So I'm kind of dead set with that. And so now I'm really curious to see how this can go and if it does help me with working on stuff. Because the problem with every world is you start something, you're like, oh, I'll get back to it. But then the thing is, you just never get back to your goals. Which is, I feel like it could be something to say about you in real life as a person, where it's like, if you struggle with goals in real life, you probably also struggle with your goals in Minecraft, which relatively I would say true, but also most people struggle with goals in real life. Some people could just be way more organized in Minecraft, but also your tendencies that you do in real life are going to match with what you do in Minecraft. So at the end of the day, I do really feel like it will match with you. And so that's one thing I gotta get better at. It wasn't like a New Year's resolution or anything, but it's just a hey, I need to get better at goals. It's kind of like just learning to adult, I could say, because I'm still fairly young that I don't know adulting too well. Obviously, I can take care of myself, not like that, but it's like, okay, cool. If I had to like pay some bills on my own or do my taxes, it's like, okay, this is some murky water which I haven't been in before, but I mean, I could figure it out. I just need to just put myself at it. But right now, I got somebody who's nice enough who does my taxes for me, and then also, living under another person's household for the moment. So I don't worry about those things. But eventually those are going to be things I got to do. So it's good to like I guess start by the little things and take responsibility in this block game. Which is kind of funny to think about. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take responsibility in this to then use in real life." Which hey, if I can use that to build me some better healthy habits, I'm all for it because it's like, yeah, it makes me a better person, but also I'm having fun with it. So that's kind of where I am at for this. It's a very interesting conversation to have with this. Okay, so these are 2 blocks high. We're fine to keep up with that. So this goes to here. I'm kind of losing track of where I am, but also we're getting really close to the bottom of this. 100% going to have to make another pickaxe. Oh, speak on it right there. That new pickaxe is gonna come in clutch. Luckily, I stopped at the furnace right at the top of the mine, and I had some irons. I had 16 iron just chilling there, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take that. I feel like we're almost to the point where our next mine trip's almost needed just from the amount of resources I've burned, which isn't good from the fact of the promise I just made of how I wanted to get tons of these goals done by the next episode. Which hey, I mean, it's still possible I could get some of these goals done by the next 10 or so episodes, which is me tiptoeing around the 100 mark, which I'm not going to try to speak on it too much because, we're still far away from it, but the fact that we are already approaching it is kind of insane. It doesn't feel like last October I started this, and now there's some real life dates popping up. Like I have a marathon I got to run in 3 months. In 5 days, I have 3 months to run this marathon, and I am not prepared for it because Ohio and most of the Midwest loves the snow, and this has been a pretty bad winter overall. So it makes it extra worse because I have not been able to run because it's so cold. Well, I was running in the cold in November, and then I got sick. So then that halted all of that, and so it is now finally warming up, but I'm just like lazy is the problem. I kind of need to just force myself to make it back into my routine because I do enjoy running. It is fun, but I keep procrastinating it, which just makes it worse on me. So that's one thing I need to do badly is to start running because I have 3 months to be able to run 26.2 miles, which I can do it. When I was running before, I mean, I hit 14. That was also the only reason I didn't go farther is my freaking knee was hurting really bad. So it's like, okay, if I could do it then, I could probably do it now, which is not the correct mindset for this one bit, but I feel like it's true. What I could do now, I can do what I could do then, I could do now, but better. There we go. Took a moment to reach it, but we got it. Two, oh, just too far. I like how I'm evening these torches now, but the whole rest of the way, I did not even these torches one bit. I just find that really funny, how I'm taking all that time to do it now when I just didn't in the past. Oh, well, which then means it'll be even harder to do it because all these are evened up, but the top isn't. Oh, sometimes it's easy to not think about the niceness I'm doing and how it's making more problems in the future. And just be like, you know what? I'm just trying to make it nice as I go. Let's not question how I'm actually doing this in a really bad way, and it is not going to work out well. Let's not spend the brain power on that. So that's kind of where I was at with all of that stuff and how I wanted to share my goals because I was kind of happy the fact that I was able to go through and do that. Now I just got to finalize it and figure out what we can even do. And so next episode I will probably bring up a good amount of those goals and be like, okay, here is what we can do. Let's split this up over the course of some episodes. Let's call it some very early spring cleaning is what I'll probably end up having to use for some titles of some episodes. But that's necessarily what it is. It's just spring cleaning, getting it done ahead of time and being all ahead for it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be the type of person who does my spring cleaning early and has it done so when spring cleaning happens, I'm already ahead of the game. I'm doing it. That's one thing I need to do with freaking Christmas shopping. Go back to the videos where I was like, oh yeah, I haven't Christmas shopped yet. I haven't Christmas shopped yet. I'm just stupid. I need to start Christmas shopping more. So I need to start just proactively doing things early. I think would be a really good goal for me because I suck at doing things and I wait till the last moment and then I stress on them and I waste time stressing and then it gets done and it happens. It's like, okay, cool. But okay, if I would have just done it at first, then I wouldn't have had the stress happen. So it's kind of like self infliction. This is to me is how I feel about it. But oh well. Okay. Now what we gotta actually take a second to stop and figure out is how we're gonna do this. Because now that everything's been moved up one, our mine's a little messed up. Do we have any extra stairs? Really? It was a perfect amount we had? That's weird. No, we don't need to make it too wide. But I still have to mine these blocks anyway. This. First step. Before we do anything else, let's put these torches back on the wall before I walk up these stairs and forget, and then use these torches in another spot. And then, never ending thing. We gotta get everything figured out. Okay, cool. So where this is meant to be, I have this, which is fine. But it's just gonna mess up that. Okay. I'm realistically thinking we just do this, and then I'm gonna put a stair there. It'll look weird, kinda. But oh well. Stairs don't have feelings. They don't know. They don't know what you think. And you don't have to worry about how they feel. Should not need this crafting bench anymore for the rest of this, as we are literally at the end of this. Which is good, which means we're close. But also, is there something meant to be here? No, that's just me fixing the staircase. I'm happy that I'm actually working on the staircase because spent so much time looking at the staircase, being like, man, I really need to fix this up and finish it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And the thing is, you always say you're going to do something and then you never do. Because you end up forgetting or your mind moves a million miles an hour and stuff like that happens. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Stuff like that happens. But it does really suck though when you were like, okay, cool. I need to text this family member, and then you're like, oh, I forgot, and then and then I feel bad. I do that to my dad too much. I will see that he texts me, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll respond to it. And then you swipe the message, and then you forget about it for a day or so, and you're like, or the worst is when they end up texting you again, and it's like, crap. I missed the text for so long that they ended up responding back. They get texted out again, which really sucks, and it does hurt a lot when I do it. But then the problem is you just keep doing it, and you still feel bad. And then it's at what point it's like, okay, I need to just say something because like this is just completely my fault, and you need to own up to it. And it's like maybe it's just the fact that I suck as a texter, and it's not even the fact I suck as a person. Which obviously I don't want it to be the part of like, oh yeah, I just suck as a person. No one should say that to themselves at all, and I don't want anyone to think that to themselves. But it's a possibility. I mean, I can't sit here and act like I'm a hero. I'm a villain in someone's story. I know. I think that's pretty cliched at this point, but in someone's life, I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to him. And the worst thing is, I probably had no clue that I even am that to them, which I guess does suck a little bit at the end of the day because I try to be happy and joyful and a good part of everyone's day, but the problem is that can probably come off as annoyance, which is not what you mean, but also that's just the childhood naiveness of you, which I think leads me into that. Where it's like, okay, I was just a kid. I didn't know. I was a little too joyful, and things happen. You get older, you realize, oh, work's not fun, stuff like that, and you stop that. Okay, now that we have made it to the bottom, I kind of need to figure out what we're gonna do here. The good news is that we can keep going down. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm more impressed by the fact that I had enough reflexes to stop that. Like my heart just jumped right there. Okay, my heart rate actually didn't jump. I was checking on my watch to see if it did anything, but it really didn't. But yeah, no, that thing spiked for a second. I'm like, crap. This is how I die in this world and die in lava for the second time. That first time really sucked. I'm still mad about that. That was what 70, 80 episodes ago. I still haven't lived that down because I was like, let me talk about family and life and having fun, and let me jump in the lava because yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that, PB. Let's just jump in the lava. Oh, I just wasted this. What am I doing? At least I got a piece of cobblestone. So you gotta look in the bright side of stuff. Leaning right back into what we were talking about earlier. Perfect segue, PB. I'm really glad you did that. See, things aren't mistakes; they're meant to happen. Now that that and I don't really know what I'm doing. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there. And we've actually been recording for almost 30 minutes. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up here in the mine, checking this thing off. Catch you guys next time. Bye. That's really the best feeling is when you do something and you just get caught up in the time and you just kind of forget that you were even doing something. Wait, this episode's supposed to end already. What am I doing? I'll put if I didn't break the stair, I would have had enough for this, and this wouldn't have happened. And now we're in the random post credit scenes that I never do for this. I'm happy. I'm gonna run up these stairs and I'm ending this. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm so happy with this now. Okay, this is ugly. But we'll go back to it. One thing at a time. As you say.